It's a Cleveland Browns podcast. Let's get the Gleam together. Cold Lake wind and orange lights. Sunday fire, dog pound nights. We won the scars, we stood the test. Brown and orange across our chest. From the Muni Lock to the end zone line, this city's heart still beats in time. Through every loss and every dream, you can feel it rise. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam together. This is our time. Let's get the gleam together. Whoa. Let's get the gleam together. This is our town.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of There's a Gleam podcast, the Cleveland Browns podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, 2026, and it is 12:02 p.m., and we are post-NFL draft week. Johnny, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing so much better now that I'm in studio. I had a appointment at the Cleveland Clinic this morning for my back, physical therapy. An hour's worth of telling the lady that I stretch every day and I exercise all the time. And she was basically, well, I don't know why your back is sore. So after a frustrating morning, it's good to be back in the studio. How you doing today?
I am doing surprisingly well. I'm doing great, actually. Browns had what appeared to be a great draft, and we're going to talk about that later. We had an awesome time at the Browns party. Got some good videos and interviews I can't wait to share later. My wife had a great birthday. I think I totally surprised her. I think I also totally made. What's that?
You got her that margarita slushy maker?
Close. I totally surprised her, but I think I also made her feel guilty and like poo-poo. But she was surprised. She saw that Ninja slushy that makes these frozen drinks. First, at one point, she wanted a Margaritaville thing, make margaritas. But she saw this Ninja slushy. It makes like at least 5 different frozen drinks. The beauty of this is you don't have to put ice in it or anything. You just load it up with whatever concoction, give it about, 10, 20 minutes. And I as she kept talking about this, all I kept thinking about was Christmas Vacation. Remember Chevy Chase when he's staring out the window, dreaming of his pool, fantasizing?
Yeah.
And I can see my wife doing the same thing. And she's fantasizing at her being at her boat dock and having people come by and say, oh, here, get yourself a daiquiri. I made margaritas and pouring drinks for people. And so lo and behold, I'm a QVC nut for the kitchen stuff, especially. And the one Wednesday before, like 2 weeks before her birthday, that was their daily special. This thing's like $300. And that was their daily special. I was like, and it was like $249. I'm like,
so $60 off.
Yeah, no, 50, but that's why
you do the math on the show.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm gonna get it. Well, a couple days later, she sends me something with the same thing. Now at that point, it went up like 10 or $20, and I'm like, tried to play it off. I'm like, do you really want it? I'm like, we got a pantry full of all these machines that we wanted and got that we never use. The latest being the Ninja Creamy, I think. She makes ice cream and stuff. Loves it. It's her favorite, but she barely uses it. So I'm like, this thing's $300. Are you ever going to use it? Blah, blah, blah. And so she started second guessing and kind of backed off. And the best was when we went to Costco, literally days before her birthday, and they had the Ninja slushy there. And I saw it. I'm like, Dad, do you really want that slushy? It's right there. I'll throw it in the cart right now and we'll just buy it. She's like, no, I don't. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, I feel really bad.
Right.
And she was like, no. So birthday swings around, had a good day. I made her a birthday cake. I took her flowers, and she didn't tell her work it was her birthday. So I stopped up there with Maya and brought her flowers to work, surprised her with flowers.
You made everybody jealous.
Right. There you go. Step the game up, please. So I got flowers for her, and then because I'm always bad with time, I had planned on making her a cake. I got everything. She actually helped me at the end because they let her out of work early because it was her birthday. And I'm like, I'm still doing all this, and you got to let a cake sit for a while before you frost it. Thank God she told me, or else I would have tried. But anyway, long story short, too late. I got her that. She opened it. She flipped out. She couldn't believe it. And to boot, I got her the slushy carry bag. It was on sale too, like for half off. So she loved it. I loved it. We had a great time. I think she had a good birthday. and all is good with that. So thanks for asking.
Well, I'll be down at the boat to get the first round of margarita.
Absolutely. We just got notification that the dock's been dredged. Our area, our lagoon, our club's been dredged. They've dredged the river by us, which really is a great thing. Helps us a lot. So we have to wait for that before we can start putting boats in. We got the official word. We're good to go. The only problem is I got to get my boat waxed. I'm going to attempt to do that first this year for the first time. Got some great guys at the club. They're always willing to show you stuff, do stuff. So I'm going to take them up, learn how to do some stuff, and I got to get some work done. So got a lot to do here for that. But yeah, look forward to boating season. Look forward to that. I wanted to get this out here real quick. John, where can everybody reach us at?
Well, Steve, if I could read that, I would let them know.
Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe. We are live on Wednesdays at noon, either on YouTube, Facebook, and There's a Gleam There's a Gleam podcast. And those, I've had some people reach out to YouTube saying there's nothing. I think you got to look under, if you go to our channel, if you go into the live tab, it's showing that we're live right now and stuff. And then you just like, and there we go. In the background. So it does work. I was wondering about that. But anyway, our big new thing is, well, we're on TikTok. John, There's a Gleam, and I'm at Steve. Steve, I'm at There's a Gleam podcast. We're both on X. If you're watching, you know, I'm at Hemi44, and John is at Get the Gleam. Our newest edition is our website, www.there'sagleam.com, or you can see that little QR code up in the top left corner of the screen, and you can use that and get to us. Leave a voice message. We're always looking to get some feedback. If we get some voice messages, we'll play them. Maybe we'll play them on the show, as long as they're not too vulgar. Keep them clean. And you can follow and subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. There's a Gleam podcast, the Cleveland Browns podcast. Just look for our logo. So there you go.
For full disclosure, for everybody out there that's listening or watching the show, I went to Steve's house last Sunday, and you should see this guy's setup for the podcasting. He's got screen monitors everywhere. He's got like 5 screens. He can like do all this shit and go all over the place, pull stuff up. And then I'm sitting here with one little Mac computer, one screen split in half, and I can't see barely anything. So Steve is basically the controller behind this whole show.
That's fitting. I'm kind of a control freak, but you're right. Now, the problem is I had 2 to start. I had a 24-inch monitor and my laptop, and they're up and down. Now I got 2 24-inch monitors on each side of me. Now I think I got too much. I'm looking over here, there. You know, I got so many different things to hit. But I was thinking about getting a 32-inch screen now, get a little bit bigger.
Well, I need this little computer's not cutting it for theirs.
Well, I'll figure out here in the next day or two. If I do, like I said, you could do one of these monitors. I'll give you one of these. I don't need them all.
That might help. Then I could probably read those.
It definitely makes a difference. It's nice just to have 2 screens. I know we usually have our show notes, what we want to talk about. There's stuff we want to pop up. Sometimes you want to bounce. Plus, you got the screen and all the controls for this. So it's a lot. That's what we need, a production manager. We need somebody to run this for us.
And we do pay for beer, like we always say.
That would be But anyway, so on that, today we got a lot of well, speaking of our website, there's you can find all our social media platforms on there. We now have both, I'll stress, both our info and bios up there, which took me a little longer to get, but John put some flattering pictures of us up there. But you can leave us a voice message. Again, that's at www.there'sagleam.com, or you can click on that or use that QR code up in the top left corner. Right now, we're asking you, the fans, where is your Gleam meter at? So hop on our webpage, leave us a recording, and let us know. Each week we'll be setting that Gleam meter based on your responses. There's a new segment in our show called the Gleam meter that we'll be doing here in a little bit. And we'll be also posting on our Facebook page as well. So, John, today I think we're going to talk, obviously we're going to talk some NFL draft, about the draft, what the Browns did, our thoughts about the draft. We got some great interviews at the Browns draft party, which we'll be playing. Got some national reaction on how the Browns did, some sound bites of we'll see about the sound bites of draft picks, Coach Monken and Andrew Berry. We're also going to go over last year's trade. Now that all the picks are in and done, we can officially look over and analyze, talk about the trade with Jacksonville from last year. And we are excited to share a major announcement. Major. Major announcement regarding a new partnership and a new segment we're going to be doing, so you don't want to miss that. The land segment's back, and this week it's featuring, actually, I went to Il Rione, or as my buddy John Chris called it when he was telling me about it. He's like, hey, let's go to, he went with me. I went with Chris and George, and we met you at the Browns party. And he's like, hey, he's always looking at, he's not originally from here, so he loves food just like me, and he's always looking for places. And he's like, hey, what about this Rione? And I'm like, what? He kept saying two. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And when he spelled it, I'm like, you talking about Il Rione's? I don't even know how you say Rione, but Il Rione? He's like, yeah.
Well, you know what? I guess if you're not from here, you would think it maybe was a two, like Roman numeral, two Rione.
If we're being honest, if you look at the thing, I could tell people think it's Roman numerals. What the hell? Numerals.
Are you giving a little bit away with our new
right? I just thought the same thing. Hey, James, what's going on, buddy? Man, the Gleam is pretty bright. You know what? I think we're seeing a little bit of a theme after this past weekend. So thanks for commenting, James.
What's up, James? Good to see you this week.
Yes, sir. So land segment, a few other things. So let's get going. We actually thought about doing a special, moving this up an hour, doing maybe 2 hours. So I think we're going to go way over, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
So we do have some Browns news today. John, you want to start us off with some Brown news before we get to the other stuff?
Yeah, let's go here with the hold on. My one screen thing is acting up on me, Steve.
Oh, right. No.
Here we go. All right. So first of all, Browns signed a fullback. I know Todd Monken had been talking about he wanted a fullback in Cleveland. So they signed Michael Burton. He was a 5th round pick of the Detroit Lions in 2015, 34 years old, and in his 7th team in 12 years.
Okay.
So, experienced veteran, and I think this is going to really help the offense. I know Monken wants to, like I said, wanted to use that fullback. He spent all last year on the IR with a hamstring injury. So we're getting a true veteran here, and I think he's going to be a good presence in the locker room too. And then Steve, we also have this one kind of hurts my heart a little bit. You remember Martin Emerson, our cornerback we drafted in 2022 in the 3rd round? Well, he signed with the New Orleans Saints. He had tore his Achilles last year in training camp, I believe it was, or was it a preseason game? I can't remember. It was training camp or the preseason.
It was in training camp, I think so. I don't think the preseason had started. I thought it was during camp.
I think you're right. Yeah. So he is no longer with the Cleveland Browns. Ends his career with 204 tackles, 4 picks, and a sack, and a forced fumble with 51 games with the Browns. So it's sad to see Martin Emerson go. Hopefully in New Orleans he can rebuild his career, because I thought he was a really good cornerback. Other former Browns who have signed elsewhere. We had linebacker Devin Bush, we talked about earlier, went to Chicago. Jerome Ford, running back, went to the Washington Commanders. Cameron Thomas signed with the Atlanta Falcons. Linebacker Mohammed Diabetes. Is that Wilford Brimley? Diabetes. Signed with the Tennessee Titans. And then Wyatt Teller, one of our favorite players on the Browns, went to the Houston Texans.
Yep.
We also have a couple of players still remained unsigned for the Browns. The big one, Steve, Joel Bitonio is still out. I don't know what's going on with Joel. Have you heard anything new about Joel Bitonio?
I think him and Aaron Rodgers are hanging out there.
I think so. Cam Robinson is unsigned tackle. Jack Conklin, who will not be coming back.
Yeah.
Ethan Posick, he's still recovering from that Achilles injury. A couple other ones, Cornelius Lucas, Shelby Harris, Jerome Baker, Andre Carter, Rashawn Jennings, Sam Webb, he's a restricted free agent, Justin Osborne, Travion Williams, Anthony Kendall, and then also David Njoku, who maybe Atlanta. I've heard that rumor.
Really? I know he was visiting. Wasn't he just visiting? Oh, crap. I don't think it was Atlanta. Not Tennessee. I don't remember. I saw he was visiting somewhere. Some people, I saw somebody speculate, could he possibly be back? I'm like, I doubt it. We have Fannin. They signed Stoll. And they just took 2 tight ends in the
Two
draft.
tight ends in the draft. Yeah, there's no reason for Njoku to come back, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the Travion Williams, I would have liked to have maybe seen. I liked him at the end of the year, but they've got so much running back depth, and now it's some other stuff. So he might be. I don't know if he's. Well, you just said he hasn't signed anywhere. So
yeah.
I know we were going to talk a little bit about undrafted free agents, but at the time we pulled some stuff. Everything's not some of it's 100%. I know a lot of this when they first do it, it's all verbal for the most part, and so things can change or they change a heart. So I know I had a hard time getting. I've heard 12. I've heard up to 19. I know there's been players invited to mini camp. I'm sorry. Yeah, they had, I think, one thing I saw, rookie mini camp. I think there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 guys. But there was 3 that stood out to me as far as camp invites.
Yeah.
I should say undrafted free agent signings. The first and foremost was defensive end Logan Fano. That one, which I don't know if that's much. He's the brother of our first round pick, Spencer. So there you go. There, the Fano brothers are teaming up. And before I forget, James said Emerson was such a dog. Wish him nothing but the best. Yeah, he was, James. I agree.
Yeah.
Wish he could have stayed healthy.
Logan Fano, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch on to this team. The defensive line is pretty strong. I think he's got his work cut out for him, but you never know.
Yeah. James, I think as far as Batonio, I'm pretty sure Batonio is an actual total free agent, so he can technically sign anywhere. Yeah, and I agreed. And Njoku, after that draft, I don't see it. And the final one was 2 West Virginia. Yep, coming to mini. Oh, I did hear that. I think he's a great. Well, something I was looking at, they had, just a little bit about Logan. I thought maybe he'd get drafted. He's 6'4", 260. Good size for that. They say he's explosive edge with length and motor. He had 30 plus tackles, 5 to 7 sacks in the final season range. Traits that I saw: violent hands, good first step, developmental pass rush upside. So I think if anything, he's a strong candidate for practice squad, unless somebody else wants to take him. So I kind of would expect him, if he doesn't make the team, to make the practice squad, unless, like you said, somebody else decides to take him. And then 2 other guys. We didn't really address the cornerback. We did safety in the draft, but there's 2 cornerbacks that they brought in. And actually, these guys were both given guaranteed, I believe it's like $115,000 contracts. The first was Nate Evans, 5'11", 191-pound corner out of Delaware. He's 5'11", 6 foot, 190. What did I see with traits? Ball skills, smaller school standout, developmental cornerback. So again, and then Michael Coach Jr. I don't know which one he is with this. Out of West Virginia, that's one of the guys I think James was talking about. I have 2 things. One says 6 foot, 190, and the other says 5'9", 184. So I don't know, but
5'10", 5'11".
He's a corner.
187.
He's a corner. So those would be the 3 guys of the list I saw. There's a couple other names I saw on there that were interesting. Tyreek Sapp from Florida, 6'2", 273 defensive end. I believe he's here. Another end out of Vanderbilt, Cordell Sidnor.
The Browns signed a lot. 19 undrafted free agents.
Okay. So, I saw at one point cornerback DeCarlos Nicholson from USC, 6'3", 200 pounds. So we'll see. They got some interesting. Hey, there's a few guys that have made this team already on like that. So there's a chance.
Right. So with this draft, the Browns and Jaguars trade from last year, the Mason Graham, Travis Hunter deal is complete.
Yes.
So overall, here's what the Browns got in that deal.
I agree, James.
The Jags got Travis Hunter. Oh, you got to post it up there. Travis Hunter, Bashal Tootin, and Ryan Lane.
Rayon Lane, yeah. So Hunter was these were guys taken in last year's draft. Hunter was the 2nd pick of the draft. Tootin was the 104th player selected last year, and the safety Lane was the 200th pick in last year's draft. So those are the 3 they got from our trade, all from last year.
And then we got Mason Graham, Quinshon Judkins at 36 last year.
Yep.
Dylan Sampson at 126 last year, and then KC Concepcion this year at 24. Yep. What do you think? I'm kind of liking this deal for the Browns.
I mean, after the announcement that at least, well, and that's been, I don't know. Remember, I think it was Rappaport. I don't think it was Schefter, maybe Rappaport that first made the announcement or something about, Jackson was just going to, Hunter's strictly going to be a full-time corner with maybe some very limited offensive things, but pretty much now the full-time corner. He kind of he responded some, I don't know if it was a question mark or he answered how, something kind of made it seem like what's he talking about. And then I think he took offense to it, like he's not lying. But anyway, so on the surface, it sounds like he's going to be a full-time corner, not the two-way player for the whole time everybody said. I mean, you got to think the Browns won on this one. Mason Graham looked legit. Quinshawn Junkins, when he's healthy, he was the high before he got hurt. He led all rookie running backs in rushing yards with that offensive line and with the quarterback play we got. So
that's when you say it that way, Steve, that's awfully impressive because our line was, let's face it, they were trash last year.
Oh, they were terrible.
And the quarterback situation was bad. And for him to put up the numbers he did with that team, very impressive.
Yeah. James said if we didn't make that trade, I think we would have taken Judkins instead of Schlesinger. It very well could have because you didn't have both. So you weren't going to have one of them, and it would have been interesting to find out who. And then you add the bonus, you get Sampson, who's been a good third down back. I'd like this, he's been productive. I like what I've seen from him. And the capper is, Concepcion, if he's this home run, receiver, by all accounts, I loved it. I know you saw the interviews he's done and learned more about him. I like what I've seen. God, how can you not like that? Tootin wasn't bad for them. Now with what's his name, ETN gone, he may see a bigger role. So he was solid. But I love the haul that we got right now. It's looking like, but we'll see. We still got to see Concepcion play and see what happens. But I like what I've seen so far.
I do too. I really do.
Got to be happy. What do you Browns fans think out there? Now that we've seen all the details, we got James. Or did James?
Yeah.
I don't know. James, no, he made a comment about he didn't think we'd have Schlesinger or John if that trade. But what do you guys think about that trade?
Yeah, if you're listening live, give it a little grade or a little thought on what you feel and what you think about that trade with Jacksonville.
Yes, sir. And we are going to do with that. I'm going to pop this up here, and we are going to do a quick. Nothing's quick with us. A quick sponsor.
Quick word from our sponsor. All right, Steve. Let's talk about leveling up your home or business because if it's looking rough after a Northeast Ohio winter, you already know Wet Jet Pressure Washing is the move. They're based in Paynesville Township and cover all of Northeast Ohio, and these guys do it all. House washing, roof cleaning, gutters, concrete sealing, deck restoration, even commercial cleaning. If it's dirty, they're coming for it. They've been doing this since 2001, 25 years of experience, fully insured, bonded, and using the top-of-the-line equipment with eco-friendly cleaning solutions. This isn't a guy with a hose, Steve. This is the pros. All right, here's where you win. Mention There's a Gleam podcast when you call them and get $75 off their spring cleaning package. That's a full house wash and exterior windows. If your place needs a reset after the winter, this is the place, or this is the call to make. So do yourself a favor, call Scott and the team, 440-283-WASH. That's 440-283-WASH, or hit them up at wetjetpressurewashing.com. Wet Jet Pressure Washing, clean that stands out, and let's get that gleam back.
There you go. Can't beat that. We can attest. Most of the stuff that I think we'll sponsor, if we're lucky enough to, are things that we've either tried ourselves. And I have tried this one, and Scott and his gang did a phenomenal job. We had a paver patio that was filthy. It looked like brand new after they got done. So it was awesome. And on a side note here, I have on my many screens up, I have I think I have it on the NFL Network, and it's a repeat of Good Morning Football. I just saw they're doing something. Well, it's their whiteboard Wednesday, but they have Team Who's Off-Season Glow Up. Sounds kind of like Gleam to me. I think
Right?
watching our show, stealing some stuff. Anyway,
Maybe. Hey,
and I just realized that this is the first time I think I've worn an orange shirt with our basement had this orangish color background on walls.
you like it?
Go okay?
I wonder what
All
the
right.
fans think. The orange
Too much
on
orange? Too much. Too
Too
much. There you go. So there you go. Yeah, give Wet Jet a call. They're great guys, do great work. I don't think you'll be disappointed. On to we've got a new segment here.
And it's
we started it last week, but
yeah.
We are now officially adding it now for the year. That's the Gleam meter, Johnny. What do we got?
There's a gleam, there's a gleam. Let's get the gleam. Let's go.
All right, Steve. The Gleam meter has been set to a 3, a solid Gleam. Now, so what we do on our social media sites, we poll everybody, put it out there. Hey, where is your Gleam at? We have 5 different stages to the Gleam. 1, there's no Gleam. Wait till next year. 2, it's a flicker. It's going to be an average season. 3, solid Gleam, playoffs. Steve, that's where we're at right now. People are thinking playoffs for this Browns team. And then, of course, we have 4, strong Gleam, AFC contender for the championship, and then 5, full Gleam, Super Bowl contender. So right now we're sitting at solid Gleam. Let me read some of the comments that we've had. On Facebook, Brian Sand, it's 2. It's a setting of 2 until we find a quarterback. Hopefully it's Sanders, but I have my doubts. We'll know after this year. Let's hope he's the man and end our suffering. Mark Butler also put a 4. Tracy Clark Cooper was at a 3. And then on TikTok, some of my responses, these are pretty good. Mimic 36 said, I'm going to say 4 on the condition Sanders is the week 1 starter. If it's Deshaun, I'll say 3. We still have one of the best defenses in the league and fresh weapons on offense. Let's go dog pound. And then F111 _ crew chief, he said 3, definitely in the mix. In my opinion, the multi-QB hurt us last year. Our defense was elite, and even with the new defensive coordinator, we still roll on that side. Dog for life. Then we had Mark Carpenter, 811. He was at a 4. So it seems to me that a lot of people are saying, hey, if Sanders is running this show, they're going to feel a lot better than Deshaun Watson out there. Steve, where's your Gleam at right now after the draft?
It's interesting. People have said they feel if it's Sanders started, because a lot of the rumbling, some of the big media guys and network people are I'm hearing more and more clamor that they think they wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be Deshaun being the starter. But my Gleam right now, I would agree with where it's at. I am a solid Gleam, playoffs in the mix, and can make some noise for sure. I mean, we won 5 games last year with this team, with that offensive line. I think offensively, and we'll talk about the draft, I think we improved offensively immensely. It's all gonna, as always, always gonna be based on 2 things: our quarterback play and injury. So, provided we get decent quarterback play and stay relatively healthy, this team's the roster that we have can compete with anybody. We've seen it even our record doesn't show it. We've seen it over the last few years, I think. Where's yours at, John?
I'm at a 3. I'm at a solid 3 right now, my Gleam.
Okay.
I think that this team is being built the right way. And even if we don't have a quarterback, we should be able to get to the playoffs with the defense that we have. Mm-hmm. If one of these quarterbacks does not work out and we have to get a new quarterback next year, it could be a plug and play type quarterback with this class that'll be here. So we shall see. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. Like we've talked about, I really want to see, I really hope Shador wins out that job.
Me too. I really do.
I don't see how it benefits us. And curious Browns fans who's out there watching, if you're watching live, comment. Who do you think? Where's your Gleam meter level at?
James is at a 3. He's edging closer to a 4. I like that.
I think there's a lot of Browns fans that feel that same way, me included. I'm at a 3, edging towards that 4 as well. So, and before I forget, I just noticed, curious to see what anybody thinks. We got a new
New logo.
John created that little background logo, which I think is on our Facebook page, our cover page too. So interesting. Got the city. I kind of like it.
You know what pisses me off, Steve? Not about the logo, but what pisses me off is, and I was reading NFL.com today. They had their 2026 power rankings. They had the Browns at 27.
Really?
Are you kidding me? 27. And then they've got the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me look. I think they had the
Chiefs.
Was this?
When was this ranking done?
Like, I don't know, today or yesterday, or like not long ago. They got the Kansas City Chiefs at 3.
I mean,
and we're at 27.
I mean, is it unfair? We won five games last year, so until we
what am I talking about?
I mean, hell, I've seen people say we're either going to win 15 games or we're going to win 2, so somewhere in between, right?
It's Sporting News had their 2027 mock draft out, and they have the Cleveland Browns picking 2 and taking Arch Manning. I made a TikTok saying if we end up picking 2, I'm jumping in Lake Erie.
Oh, it'd be so interesting if we were terrible and we end up with the first pick and Manning is good as everybody says and comes out. And I know his family's got ties with Haslam. There's a good friendship there. That being said, last Manning that was drafted in the NFL said he didn't want to play for an organization and threatened to sit out Eli if San Diego took him. So it would be kind of interesting if Manning was the consensus number 1 pick, and if somehow the Browns had the first pick, what would happen? But James had commented, I just hope the fan base doesn't riot if we don't see immediate production from these rookies like we did from the guys last year. Got to give these guys a little time to adjust. That's fair. I mean,
yes.
Hey, the last year's class was phenomenal, exceeded our expectations, played great. And I mean, by all accounts, everybody said this was a home run draft for us. So yeah, I think expectations are going to be high considering, where we got, especially the receivers. Fano, I agree. Hopefully we will. Hopefully they produce.
This is definitely a team that's tracking in the right direction for 2029 and a move into the new stadium.
Yes, sir. All right. We got, we're going to do one segment, Know Your Enemy, kind of a look at the AFC North. We don't have a lot. I know there's a couple things. We kind of did their draft a little bit. We're kind of looking. I see time-wise, we're already 30 minutes into it. I want to get more on the draft, but Pittsburgh, just kind of briefly looking at theirs. Actually, I had their thing up here, if I'm not mistaken. I know you can't see that. They went in the first round, the tackle, Ianker from Arizona State. They came back with the receiver, Jeremy Bernard from Alabama, who Browns brought in for a visit. The surprise for me was in the third round, they took quarterback, Penn State local college kid, but from Ohio, Medina, I believe, Drew Aller. That surprised me a little. What about you, John?
Yeah. Did you see Drew Aller did not want to put that Steelers hat on? I guess his parents are Cleveland Browns season ticket holders. And they had a video. He did not want to put the draft hat on.
Dominic said he's going to hold you to that, John, what you said before. Which one was that, Dom?
Probably jumping in Lake Erie if they
that's true.
End up picking second.
That one surprised me. They took the mullet guy, the guard Jennings Dunker from Iowa.
Yeah, I like him.
And for as much as I dislike Pittsburgh, one of the cooler moments I thought of the draft was they had a kid that's in the Navy, Eli Heidenreich, I believe is how you say his name. In the Navy, he was at the draft, and they actually, he's from, I guess, the Pittsburgh area. And he got drafted by Pittsburgh in the 7th round. He got to do the walk, put the hat on, go on stage. The emotion that kid showed kind of tugged at my heart a little bit. The scary thing is they had a lot of comparisons to him, and he compares, at least on a physical level, he's very comparable to Christian McCaffrey, which scares me. McCaffrey is 5'11", he's 6 foot. McCaffrey's 202, he's 198. McCaffrey ran a 4.48. He ran a 4.4. Some of this is a little harder to.
That scares me. We don't need the Steelers with a guy like.
No. No, I mean,
real quick, Raul Havana 5.448. He commented, last time the Steelers drafted an Ohio QB, they won 2 Super Bowls. Yikes!
Thanks, Raul.
Hey, great.
The guy we passed. Boy, and we passed that, and we could have taken him. Oh, boy.
Let's not even start talking about our thoughts about Roethlisberger and how we wanted him.
That
so
hatred
bad.
for Pittsburgh ain't leaving his blood. That's true. Vertical 37. I mean, all his measurables, I mean, very, very close. He's built kind of like him. So anyway, I thought that was a cool moment for that young man. And thank you for your service and all you do and all the other Navy and military servicemen and women out there. We appreciate you. The other thing was Baltimore Ravens. They always seem to draft pretty decent. They took, my opinion, they got the best, possibly the best lineman, who we actually mocked in ours, the Vega Ione from Penn State. They also came back with a guy we had the Browns taking, and he was there. I don't know if it's unfortunate or not, but Boston was there, and I wanted Boston to begin with. So I am happy with Boston, but they got Zion Young, the edge from Missouri.
Oh, man, Zion Young in a Baltimore Ravens uniform will keep people up at night.
Yeah. They got Jacoby Lane, the receiver out of USC in the 3rd round. They also got Elijah Sarrett, wide receiver from Indiana, which seems like a solid pick. A few other guys.
Yeah. What about the Bengals?
The Cincinnati Bengals. Well, we know they didn't have their 1st round pick because they traded and got the tackle Lawrence from there, but they ended up, another guy saw him mocked quite a bit in a lot of mock drafts. So they got the defensive end from A&M, Cassius Howe, who I kind of at one point thought the Browns could be interested, kind of be that heir apparent to Miles and, both being from Texas A&M. They also took in round 3 Tacario Davis, cornerback out of Washington. Connor Lew was a good pick, I thought, round 4. I actually thought the Browns could be interested. He's the center out of Auburn. Colby Young, the wide receiver out of Georgia. Parker to tackle, Endries, and Landon Robinson. So, that's what those guys did. Looking at it as a whole, I think I know I looked up a couple things about best draft in the AFC North because everybody's got an opinion, and multiple outlets and grading projections had the Browns at or near not just the AFC North, but the entire NFL. So most everybody thought the Browns had the best. So time will tell, right?
They got really good grades across the board, and a lot of people have been talking about, man, now that Paul D. Podesta is gone, Andrew Berry seems like he knows what he's doing. So,
well, that's the $64,000 question. I think is, we've seen the history over the last so many years, and now with 2 years removed from D. Podesta, it's like night and day how this team drafts. So, Stefanski was here for a good amount of it too, but I mean, maybe Podesta, did he have more control and more say in what the Browns did?
I really think he did. I think he was pulling the levers back there.
Pulling
the strings.
It's more and more looking like it. That's for sure. So
there's nothing like a baseball guy running a football team.
It makes sense, right? So I mean, time's going to tell. We're going to see how they did, but man, so far, it's looking like this could be another great draft. Heck, even if you hit on half of them, that's a great draft. So time will tell, but you got to like what you've seen so far. No?
Oh, I agree. And we'll find out more this fall. And even the way what James said, it might take another year or so, but we'll see what we got. But I think we've got some dogs on this team now.
Absolutely. No, I'm excited. Future's bright, all that good stuff. So, all right, we don't have a ton of NFL news, but I thought for the heck of it, we would still bring it up. We had NFL news and former Browns, I guess, assistant on the team, Mike Vrabel. We all know about Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini, everything that's going on. But the latest thing I heard yesterday, I thought there's a lot of rumors starting to circulate that the Patriots have gotten to the point where they're preparing just in case Vrabel resigns. That was per Daily Mail, and that they are eyeing Mike Tomlin, John.
Well, Mike Tomlin's name appears for the New England Patriots. That's wild, dude. I don't even. Why would Vrabel quit because of this?
I don't know. I know there's a video that circulated, I think yesterday from the other day. He went to that Sunday. He went to that counseling, rehab, whatever for the day. He was going through an airport and somebody was asking him how he's doing about all that. I mean, there's a lot of, I think there's more and more stuff coming out.
This guy's in a mess.
It really is. So, but the thing is, if they could be eyeing Tomlin, but my understanding was he quit. He still had a contract, so technically he's still under Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to sign him, there's got to be compensation given.
They'll probably get a draft pick or something, I would think.
Raul says the Browns drafted the next Lamar Jackson in the 6th round with a laughing face. We're going to find out, maybe. And then James said, I'm saying extend Barry now. I mean, he took some abuse. I mean, well, it's a lot easier, a lot different when you don't have 1st-round picks. I mean, for 3 years, he didn't have them. Some of the drafts were questionable. The last 1st-round pick he had, was that the Jed Wills pick in round 1?
I believe so.
Which, I mean, hindsight being 2020, a lot of people like that pick. Joe Thomas loved the pick. We both loved Tristan Wirfs coming out. I saw interviews with him and just fell in love with the kid. Thought he was a great kid and he was going to be phenomenal. But Wills looked promising. The first year he looked pretty strong. Second year every year he leveled off, and then it turned into what he is. So we'll see. Was it Miami? I think he signed with, trying to see if he can make it back with Miami, I believe. So that should be interesting to see there, John.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. That's all we got there for
NFL news.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and pull these up. And there we go. Got one more here. Got to pay the bills somehow, huh?
Yep.
Our other sponsor is Poo Poo We Do. So, all right, dog owners, again, this one's for you. We have our new, we have a new partnership we're going to be announcing. But Poo Poo We Do, they're a pet waste removal service based in Paynesville Township, covering all Lake County. They handle the job that nobody wants. Weekly, monthly, and even one-time cleanup charges, especially after a long Northeast Ohio winter when the snow melts and reality sets in. Let's be honest, everyone loves that dog, but nobody loves racing outside for the cleanup duty, me included. And that's what I've said before. My wife usually handles that. And so, but services start as low as $15 for one dog, which is pretty much a no-brainer if you value your time or your shoes, or your lawnmower wheels. I can attest to that too. They've been doing this for 4 years. They keep it simple. You call, they show up, they clean up, and it's done. So if you're bringing home a dog, or just some of this had written in here that we had all leads up to something.
Right.
If you're looking for that help that you don't want to do, give them a call. They're at 440-941-9798 for a free quote. Let them know you heard about them on There's a Gleam podcast. Poo Poo We Do. You handle the fun part. They handle the dirty work. Let's get the Gleam back. There's our sponsors. And again, we want to thank both our sponsors, our new partnerships we have with them. And if we're always looking for sponsorship. So if you'd like to be a sponsor, you can email me at shemrich25@gmail.com, or you can email John at johnreiter, RIETER3@gmail.com. Go over what plans we have to offer, what we can do for you, see if we're a fit. So there you go with that, Johnny.
I guess is it now time for our big announcement?
It really is. So
I think
maybe we should have done that sponsor read after this next
exactly.
Let me see if I can pull this up, because we have
this was Steve's idea, and it's not really a sponsor. It's more working together. And Steve, you could talk more about it.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I am excited about this one. It's been in the works for a while. We're proud to announce our official partnership with Euclid Pet Pals. They're actually located at the Euclid Animal Shelter. We've been searching for a meaningful way to give back to the community. It gives us so much passion every football season, and we found it right here in Northeast Ohio. We kind of looked around, both of us. I did a lot. We were kind of looking around, and there's a lot of great organizations. I wish we could do stuff with all of them, but through this partnership, we're going to help shine a light on dogs, support shelter initiatives, and hopefully connect more pets with loving homes across our area. This is bigger than just football. This is about community, responsibility, and showing that the dog pound extends far beyond the stadium. This new segment, we're going to be calling it Inside the Dog Pound. See the play there we did, huh?
I like that. That was pretty sneaky.
And within this segment, every week we will have our free agent Fido. Again, see that play on words?
That too. Free agent Fidos.
John's the creative one here. I love that. Free agent Fidos. This is where we're going to spotlight adoptable dogs, our free agents, looking for their forever homes, because not every roster upgrade happens on the field. Some of the most important ones happen at home. So each week we'll feature a dog who's ready to be signed to a permanent contract, one home, one family, and one forever team.
I love that.
I do too. This collaboration's about more than just support. It's about helping bring visibility to the incredible work that the Euclid Pet Pals do every day to care for, protect, and rehome animals in our area. We're looking forward to working together, amplifying their mission, and helping create just more of an opportunities for these animals to find homes. So 100% of the money collected goes to the animal shelter. Euclid Pet Pals is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And from what we gathered, they have full-time staff members. They're actually, we found this out. They're actually with the Euclid Police Department. They're under their animal control division, but I met Rita and KK
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. And then I came out on Sunday to meet them.
Yeah, you came out this past week and you met Rita, and they also have approximately 20 volunteers. But I met with them a few weeks ago, the two there, and then John, and I met some of the volunteers, and then John came up Sunday. We met with them to finalize stuff, go over stuff. We met with Rita again. Some of the volunteers, I know Kristen and Taylor, who handle their social media, and we talked to a lot about some stuff, and a few others. Took a tour of the facility, got to meet some dogs, learn more about their organization. And I tell you what, it took a lot for me not to adopt a dog.
I know. Right now, I'm animalless at home, and I really want to. After leaving, I was like, I want a dog.
Well, we've always had multiple dogs, but since Riley passed, Maya, she's gonna be 12. She seems to be really like being the only dog right now. So we keep going back and forth, whether we want to. So we've always had multiple dogs in the past. So I'm saying there's a chance, but we shall see. Of course, it's got to be a right fit. So, but anyway, right now they've asked us to share that they are in need of more volunteer help. Volunteers can be as young as 14 years old, under 18. Parents they would need to sign a volunteer form. And if they're under 18, they would have an adult with them while they volunteer. You can go to their website, which is euclidpetpals.net. And John, is that a / I always mess that up.
I don't know, Steve. I think so.
Euclid. If you go to euclidpetpals.net, N-E-T, there is a tab that says volunteers, and it's right there to get more information in their volunteer application. You can also give them a call at 216-289-2057 for more information. And I think we have scrolling down at, we didn't. I thought we did.
That is a /
I always want to say backward, forward. It's a slash. Anyway, we're going to keep that scrolling below. They have a Facebook page at facebook.com/Euclid Pet Pals. Their address is on their phone number, but if you'd like to volunteer, I think they're also looking for fosters. You can reach out to them. They can tell you more and, maybe get involved. So next week, John, we're going to have our first free agent Fido, and we'll be sharing some other, what's that?
Yeah, I said yes. And we met our first free agent Fido last Sunday.
Yeah, we met a few. Oh, remember the one dog Diesel we met? He was like, I think 9 or 10. Was surrendered. He what?
The old dog.
Yeah, he he was surrendered under some tough situations. I believe it's their oldest dog.
Yeah.
He's adopted.
Great.
I've been following the Euclid Pet Pals on Facebook, and it's a little confusing because they're actually located at 25100 Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, which is right off the freeway route 2 there along the margin.
Real easy to get to.
Yeah, the Babbitt and in between Babbitt and 260. If you're heading, that would be eastbound. Get off the exit, just take the marginal down. Now it's the actual Euclid Animal Shelter, and that's why I thought they were at first. That's just the building. The city owns that, but who actually runs it is Euclid Pet Pals. So that we got that clarification. But we're going to be sharing updates soon on how you can get involved alongside us and help. So stay tuned for that. But that's our big announcement here is we now have a partnership with Euclid Pet Pals.
Well, and I think, Steve, for us, we're both the animal lovers, and it's just kind of right up our alley. And we love dogs, and there's so many dogs out there that need a home. And these people do such a great job with these animals and giving so much to them that it's something that we can do to give back a little bit.
Absolutely. No, I'm fired up. I hope we have some success. Like we explained to them, like we're a small podcast getting started.
Right.
Don't know how much will be of help, but if we can help it out, hey, if we can help just one dog,
exactly,
it's worth it. So, but yeah, check them out. Their Facebook, they have their website. You can see it all down at the bottom there, and we'll be doing more. And I can't wait to start our free agent Fido of the week. So that's it. That's our new segment. Inside. I love the Inside the Dog Pound.
Yeah, it's good.
That was pretty catchy. So there you go. I don't have a 2-minute drill this week, but John kind of does. No?
Yeah, I got a quick one. It was I was just perusing the internet, and I saw that Russell Wilson played at Yankee Stadium with the Savannah Bananas. I guess he grounded out.
See that.
He grounded out, and the guy did a trick play to throw him out. And
yeah,
it was in the bottom of the 5th inning. He broke his bat, and it was a trick play to end the inning. The Bananas lost 7-2 to the Party Animals, but yeah. So Russell Wilson playing some baseball again.
I don't know if we talked about that on the show. I know I told you I got tickets to that. They're coming to Cleveland. They're super hard to get. First off, you got to like register for like a drawing to be selected, even to be able to have the right to buy tickets, which I did. I don't know, back in October, November. I forget. I put in, I got notification I was selected. And so did our buddy Scott.
Yeah, actually, I'm going with Tursk.
Yeah.
We're going to go, him and his wife and me and Aaron are going to go see the Bananas in September 20th, I believe.
Yeah, I know a handful of people. My friend Sam, who you've met before, Tailgating Sam.
Yeah.
She got tickets. She was selected. She got tickets. I opted. They're coming Friday and Saturday. I didn't realize this at the time. So Savannah Bananas, they're not going to be there. They have like 6 teams now. They're the Party Animals are the actual team, but either way, they're all good.
Wait,
I got tickets for Saturday. No.
We're seeing the Savannah Bananas. They're playing the Party Animals. No, they're playing the Firemen.
Are you sure?
Who would go and not want? Who'd pay for a ticket and not see the Savannah Bananas?
Well, I think it's a whole organization now with all these teams. It's like a league.
I just want to say I'm waiting for Len Barker and a 10-cent beer night to come back.
I'm with you.
That would be awesome. That was from Raw Havana.
5448 Havana. God, I need a good cigar. I haven't had a good cigar in a while.
Len Barker in the perfect game.
Anyway, so yeah. I did see that with Russell. He didn't look all that. He was a great baseball player back in the day.
Yeah, he was. Didn't he have an opportunity to play baseball? He got drafted, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was the Yankees or not. I was going to say I forget who. He was actually highly. I thought he was drafted. He had the option.
Maybe somebody out there remembers about Russell Wilson. Leave a comment if you do. If you remember if he got drafted or not. Somebody knows.
Actually, I pulled it up. It said he was drafted twice in MLB draft as a second baseman in 2007, 41st round by the Orioles. And then in 2010, he was a 4th round pick by the Colorado Rockies. He did play 2 seasons in the Rockies minor league system. That's right. Because then he went back. That's right. And then I think he said something about the rural draft, but didn't he go back and then football with Wisconsin? I think Anyway, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Let's get to the good stuff. Holy crap, John, it's 12:54.
Okay, let's talk about this draft party that we went to, which I thought was a really good time. You went with your buddy Chris and his son George.
Yeah.
And I met you down there at the Huntington Convention Center, whatever they call that.
No, Cleveland Public Auditorium.
Yeah, that's what it's called, Cleveland Public Auditorium. So you got there first, and then I met up with you guys.
Yep.
We went around. We talked to some people, got some photos. We were talking with, giving some just quick interviews. As a matter of fact, we have a couple clips, Steve, that I want to play. Now, I had a microphone, and it was a little, a little garbled, I guess.
Okay.
So
this was before, right? People talking to people like who they wanted what they wanted to see the Browns doing stuff, right?
Yes. So this was before. Matter of fact, Steve, we were standing in line. No, we weren't. I'm sorry. Let me reset that. We were not standing in line. We were setting up. We were doing some videos. We were next to the line that was going to the autograph table. I had a kid come up to me and he goes, "Hey, Tony Rizzo." I'm like, oh, so I played along. I'm like, yeah, I'm Tony Rizzo.
Woo!
He shakes my hand. He gets a photo with me. And I couldn't help but think, like, how many times has Tony Rizzo been mistaken for me? But anyway, so it was pretty funny. The kid thought I was Tony Rizzo. I played along, and it was a good time though. So I've got this video. This is the video I did right after that kid thought I was Tony Rizzo. All right, we're here with John. John, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
All right, good to meet you.
All right, good to meet you.
All right, so I'm going to ask John here, who he thinks the Cleveland Browns should take with that number 6 pick?
I like Carnell Tate. I like a wide receiver. I think all offensive tackles, all wide receivers this draft. I love it.
I love that answer. All right, let me ask you another question. Coors Light or Budweiser?
Ooh, both.
Awesome, man. Thank you. That was John that we ran into. He had a bunch of buddies there.
Yeah.
And they were having a good time. So that was fun.
Nice.
When is Jake Paul going to fight Rizzo's ex-wife? So Raul Havana commented. Hey, that's pretty crazy. Jake Paul. Anyways, let me get back on track here. And then I had one more here that I did before. I'm here with Steve at the Browns draft party. Steve, I want to ask you, who do you think the Cleveland Browns should take with that number 6 pick?
I think we should go with the best receiver that's available. Definitely.
Carnell Tate, maybe?
Why not? Yeah, he's, I think he can do inside, outside, the short routes, long routes. So definitely, Carnell. Yeah.
Great. Let me ask you one more thing. On your hot dog, mustard, ketchup, relish, onions, what do you put on your hot dog?
Well, I'm going to go with a Cleveland favorite, Polish boy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with, a Polish sausage, fries, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, all the trimmings.
You nailed that one.
Right, for sure.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I felt bad that the microphone was it was so loud in there too at the draft.
Yeah, that was hard to get in there, at least at that time.
Yeah.
It was getting busier and stuff. Did you have one more too, or is that it?
I have one more for post after the Spencer Fano pick.
Okay. Yeah, and I took a few before you got there to get, gauge what people were thinking, who they wanted to see the Browns take. And this first one is Daron and his mom, Sheila. I'm here with Daron and Sheila. Who do you guys cheers? Who do you want the Browns to draft?
I'm more of a Tyson, but I wouldn't be mad if they took Spencer Fano either.
Okay.
I kind of like Tyson too, but I like Fano. He's like a versatile offensive guard tackle type dude. I like both of them too. We on the same page, but we gotta get a receiver, one or two.
100% agree.
We got to.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
She was right.
She was pretty accurate. They both were. They both wanted a receiver and a lineman. And then I got to interview George, and we did have permission from all these people to play these. George is my buddy's son, affectionately known as Jorge. All right, I'm here with George. George, who do you want the Browns to take with the 6th pick? Is there a position you want or a player?
O-line.
O-line? Can't go wrong with that. Go Browns. I love George's face.
George is a good kid.
He plays football. I could see him wanting a lineman. He plays defensive line.
Okay.
He's a wrestler. So wanting a lineman made total sense. This next one, Austin was pretty good. He was pretty dialed up too. So here, but this one was Austin. I'm with Austin here at the Browns draft party. Austin, what do you want the Browns to do in the first round this year?
To be honest, if they could just address the wide receiver position, give whoever our starting quarterback is this year a weapon other than just Jerry Jeudy, that's all I can ask for right now, and somebody to block. So if we get offensive tackle, wide receiver, I call that a win this year.
I agree, man. Thanks, Austin. That was another vote for that. And then finally ran into these four ladies, and
yeah.
of the four, they said the one Tracy was the expert, the actual knowledgeable one that knows the team inside and out. And we got Tracy's response.
Okay.
All right, we're here with Tracy here at the Browns draft party. Hey, Tracy, what do you want to see the Browns do with their first round picks?
O-line! We need an O-line!
So, I mean, there it was. Of the people we interviewed, the common theme was everybody to a T was linemen and wide receivers. So I'd say Browns mission accomplished.
100%, Steve.
I think, no, they, I was actually a little surprised not to hear more, but everybody the same. So, that was pretty impressive, for what everybody was saying.
Yeah.
Everybody was so in touch with that.
And so was Andrew Berry, thankfully.
Yes, he was. So with that note, this is the big draft, and I'd be remiss if I didn't add this to the stage, because actually I have that framed. I do have, it's like what's that size? 11 by 17, or no, it's bigger than that, longer. I do have that frame. I thought about trying to put it up on my wall somewhere, but I don't have that much wall space. But love me to draft day. Did you watch that?
I watched draft day Sunday morning, actually.
I was say, is that now one of the norms when draft comes around to watch that?
But I still hate that epic movie, Steve. It's stupid. It's the stupidest movie ever made in Hollywood.
Wow.
Let's do a movie about the draft. And I'm a draft fan, and it's terrible.
Wow, that is a little bit of a
surprise. And then the ending. What's the ending, Steve? Everybody runs on the field for the Browns, and they're probably going to go like 2-15.
It's just like Major League. Get that warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
Major League was much better than Draft Day.
Well, that is true, but
Draft Day was terrible. Terrible movie.
I thought that was pretty cool. The Browns had their 2026 NFL draft party. For those you can't see, a nice sign, balloons. The pain in the butt was in the beginning trying to get a picture of just that, and there were so many people.
Yeah.
And everybody kept going in pairs and getting photos, which us included. I got a bunch of those. And there'd be times I was like so close. I'm like, if you people would they take a picture and then like stand and talk. I'm like, move. I was so close. And then I think it was my buddy Chris snagged that later towards the end.
Once it was clearing out a little bit.
Well, the funny thing was, and we were going to play it. I had photos, but for time we're not going to. It was a decent crowd down there. It's hard to see in some of our videos. We moved up to the second level. The first floor was all standing only. Then you could go up to the second level and sit. It was decently filled there. I mean, it wasn't packed, shoulder to shoulder, but I'd say there was a good amount of fans. Hard to tell. But after that first pick was over, literally we saw just the mass exodus of, 3/4 of the people, I think, left. No? Close to it.
So. Yeah, it cleared out pretty quick after that first pick.
Yeah, like
I think part of the reason was it was so loud in there. I thought it was too loud. Maybe I'm just an old man, but man, like you could barely talk.
That is true. Yeah, I don't like that one. So without further ado, John, first, why don't you tell us the different picks, who we all took? I know most of us know.
Of course, everybody knows we took offensive tackle Spencer Fano from Utah with the number 9 pick. Then at 24 in the first round, we took Casey Concepcion, wide receiver from Texas, which I absolutely love. Casey Concepcion. He's already like my new favorite Browns player, just for his backstory of the stuff that he's overcome in his life. I just really like the kid a lot. Denzel Boston was our second round pick, along with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, which was a steal.
That one,
58.
The whole 24, 39, and 58 really blew my mind. I think some people. Well, it's funny to backtrack slightly. When it was announced at 4 that Tennessee took Tate, the moans and I think a little bit of wind was let out by the fans there. I think people were a little surprised and I think a little deflated because I think a lot of people were hoping to get Carnell Tate.
Well, we were both shocked.
Well, then at the draft party, I don't know if they did it on TV, but while they were at the draft party, I think they probably did because I believe they had it most of the time on the NFL Network for the draft coverage there. That's the only thing I thought they could have done better is maybe done a little bit more. When they got closer with the picks, they did have a DJ pop on for a minute. And hey, I'm going to give them major props. They were playing Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, which I would have played the video of John dancing and me singing, but so that was a highlight. But But yeah, right after they announced, what's that?
And then in typical Browns fashion, they have the draft on and somehow it glitches out and goes to like NASCAR, and then they're flipping channels and it's going to like some C-SPAN.
People are just like, boo, everybody's booing.
Typical Browns can't do anything right.
But it's funny because right after they announced that, they're like, oh, and the Browns have made a trade. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, that came in quick. So, and I thought, on a side note, they used to be 10 minutes. I think they changed that to 8 minutes. It seemed like it moved pretty. In fact, they were always waiting, like, well, we're 2 picks behind. So that it got finished earlier because before that thing was going till midnight. It ended about 11-ish or so.
Yeah, it did end earlier. I like the pacing of the draft this year.
Yeah,
it seemed to roll, even though the broadcast was a pick or two behind. That was okay because they were already just moving along. I liked it a lot.
Totally agree. So I was kind of secretly hoping, well, if they would have stayed at 6, I really did like Sonny Styles. I think he's one of the 5 best players in this draft, but okay, they didn't. They moved back. Small part of me, I think I went across the grain because you said, I know we had the interview. I'm not going to play it, but we did an interview of us who we thought the Browns would take with that 9th pick. And you said you thought Fano. I went on a limb and said Caleb Downs for the hell of it. But they took Fano, which I thought was a great pick made sense.
I think Andrew Berry would have been eviscerated if he would have taken Caleb Downs.
Do you?
I do. I really do. I think most Steve, we saw it there. People wanted a tackle. They want to shore up this line.
Well, I mean, you can make the argument he's a day one. He should be day one starting left tackle, cornerstone protector, and if he's an elite athletic tackle, and he fills a premium need. So, I mean, you can't argue with the pick. We all knew. I mean, all the fans we talked to, I think all of them said line or wide receiver. So it made sense. I've seen comparisons to a lesser scale Tristan Wirfs. If he's anything like that, please, God, thank you.
If he's somewhere between Wirfs and Jedrick Wills, I'll be all right with that.
I saw Rashawn Slater too. So, but solid pick. The 24 is where it got interesting. So many players there. We all kind of thought receiver. You didn't take him first. You got to get weapons. And I know I was torn between the 3 at that. I thought at one point, could they move up to get Mekhi Lemon, who had fallen, and he didn't go to 20th, which was funny. Dallas, of all teams, traded with Philly to let them move in front of them to take Mekhi Lemon, which I thought was crazy, but okay.
Right from underneath the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love it.
And then Browns are sitting there with, and most people had those 3. Jordan Tyson went before the Browns to the Saints, if I'm not mistaken. So the 3 top receivers most people had as their top 3, Tate, Tyson, and Lemon are off the board. Then it got to that next tier, and they were a close second tier right there, but you had Concepcion, Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana, and Denzel Boston from Washington. And I think I would have been happy with any of the 3. I kind of thought maybe they were going to go Cooper, but they went with Concepcion, which, again, after seeing stuff, it made a lot of sense. He is a speed guy, right?
Oh, yes, he is.
Explosive.
He's going to be a playmaker this year.
Yeah. I know people are talking about his drops and his 7.4% drop rate or something, which was a little high, but I heard the guys Bearded Browns, it was a Bearded Browns talking a little bit, and they're more analytical than us. They talked about some of the drops, and some of that's a little misleading. When you dive a little further, it's not as bad as you think. So I'm like, okay, he's explosive. I mean, and he's a very likable kid. Everyone knows, most people I think know he's got the stuttering problem. And actually, I think I did have a little video of him on the drops. This is what he said regarding the drops.
I just, accepted, I have, drops, but, it's more so, it is more so, concentration, just, focusing on the ball. So, I've been working, nonstop at it, every day. So, it's going to get fixed for sure.
Love that kid.
Yeah, I give him all the credit, though. I mean, he's got a stuttering problem. He acknowledged it, and he doesn't shy away from it. He said, I want to be a role model to others. I read he did that. I don't know if you saw it. I read it actually the other day. He wrote that letter to GMs and stuff. It's a little long, but it's very very
great.
interesting. And one of the things, he's had a stuttering problem for a while. He's working on it. He said something about he realized when he didn't stutter, like on the football, when it came to like football and stuff, he's sitting in a room full of people. But anyway, love the pick. I think he's a dynamic player. Also adds to that return game. So hard to argue with that. Then we get into that round 2, and boy, they're sitting at 39 with all these guys. And we even joked about it. We were talking, and I'm like, is there any way they double up? I'm like, we said we would double up at wide receiver. Like, they're not going to. I fully expect them to go corner. Safety, we thought Warren was a strong possibility, or that defensive line. I know they love to work on that, so we thought maybe that. And lo and behold, with that first pick, they took Denzel Boston.
Yes, and I think this is exactly what the Browns need. They need the big guy.
Yeah.
Someone with some size. He doesn't have to be a
Absolutely.
burner, but he's got hands and he's got size.
Absolutely. Okay, Mary Kay. I said a comparison to Mike Williams. Remember him, the receiver?
Yeah.
Chargers. He's a red zone mismatch, outside X receiver. I think him complements Concepcion perfectly.
I do too.
Such contrast with the two. I love it. I love the two weapons you added. I think from day one, those two are going to be immediate impact players, and we're gonna see them. So I really liked it. And then with that, they traded out, and I forgot who the player was. I was thinking, I'm like, I wondered if when somebody got taken, if they were, was it that one?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they had no. They had, that's what it was. So they had the 1 second round pick, and then we had the 2 third-round picks. They decided to move up.
Yes, we traded for Warren.
And Barry, and I had the clip, but I forgot to upload it. Barry even went on record as saying, with that second round pick, it was always between Boston and Warren. And they obviously took Boston.
And then Warren slid, and then they traded up to get him.
That's when he jumped back up, moved up from one of the picks in the third round that they had gotten. And I think it was the pick maybe that they had gotten from, was it the one that they got in the Kansas City deal when they moved back and something else, and moved all the way back into the second round and ended up stealing Emmanuel McNeil Warren, which blew our minds. I mean, wow. All four, the first 4 picks, every mock draft I saw, just about everyone had all 4 going in the first round.
Yes, me too. Exactly.
So, I mean, you pretty much, it seemed like by all accounts, walked away with 4 first-round talented players in the first 2 rounds. So,
yeah.
And then I like what they did later in the draft. At that point, let's be honest, when you start getting third round, okay, you can still find some. You're looking for depth and some other things. What all did they do there? I had that up.
They got Austin Barber, the tackle from
Florida.
And then Steve, in the 5th round, they took Parker Brailsford from Alabama. I would not be shocked if he's playing for the starting for the Browns this year.
Yeah.
It would not shock me at all.
And what I saw about him, he's a little bit undersized, but strong as the guy I heard. What was he? Something like he benches over 500.
Jeez.
Just in strength wise, just out of this world. And I totally agree. He actually, I think, could be competing for a starting center position.
Yeah.
Depending on, and we don't know what's going on with Whippler right now. So depending on what happens with him, and then I know you have Jenkins, Eldon Jenkins that they just signed who can play, but I think very well, he's, from everything I heard and read about him, high IQ, strong fundamentals. So Creed Humphrey, I think, was the comparison.
Okay.
Is the one I kept hearing about. So the other ones, this one, let's talk about it. I know some people lost their mind, but the Browns did take a quarterback.
Yeah, Steve. Why?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you a hater?
Not a hater. Why they take a hater, or are you a homer? I'm a hater. Then not a homer. You're a homer. I'm a hater.
Why do you
That's
hate
our new
this
segment? Hater homer.
Why do you hate this?
I hate it because, for one, I don't need Shador Sanders looking over his shoulder, that they brought another quarterback in. Yeah, Taylor Green is 500 pounds of dynamite with a quarter-inch fuse. He's not going to be able to run this system. I don't think so.
Really?
He throws a lot of interceptions. He throws bad balls. He could throw it to the moon, but you don't know who's going to catch it. I just feel it's a wasted pick in a 6th round. Take a shot on another lineman. Dominic, why is John such a hater? I hate her because I don't like the pick of Taylor Green in the 6th round when you could have done something else. You probably could have gotten him as a free agent, undrafted.
Wow.
What do you say, Steve? Homer.
I say you're a hater. You're an idiot. You know what? I don't hate this at all.
Really?
Yeah, no. I did not, if they would have took a quarterback 1st, 2nd, even 3rd round, I don't know if I would have bet that. I probably wouldn't have liked that. We don't need more controversy. We need to kind of get through the slop here that we have. I fully want to see Shador play this year. They've addressed it. They've added weapons. They've addressed that line. Give this kid a legit shot. Let's see. Is he the franchise or not? Deshaun Watson does nothing for me. But reason why I like this, it was a 6th round pick. This kid's physical ability is mind-blowing. I mean, the kid ran like a 4.36. The measurables are just phenomenal. It's for a 6th round pick. I'm not expecting much. But I mean, just his physical specimen that he is, he's a tremendous athlete. He could develop into so I've seen a lot of comparisons to Kaepernick type prospect. There's no pressure on him or anything. I'd much rather see this guy than Dylan Gabriel. At least I've got a guy that's, what is he? 6'5", 6'6", over 200 pounds, runs a 4.3, athletic. I mean, when he runs, he just straight look. He did that 40. It looked like he took about 12 or 13 steps. So give me a guy with that physical ability over a 5'9" Dylan Gabriel any day. I'm done with him. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something. You can work with this kid.
Work with him at wide receiver.
Very well could be. Terrell Pryor did the wide receiver and actually had 1,000 yards with the Browns. So not opposed to it. Dominic said good value in the 6th round. I agree with that physical ability. For me, it was worth a shot. And that he lasted that long. I thought after his combines and all those numbers, I thought he was going to go higher. So I didn't have a problem with it. I'm intrigued. I even heard they could possibly put some packages together. Almost remember with Josh Cribbs and do some things, get creative.
That's such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time. We're going to just make packages for a 6th round pick that can run like the wind. It doesn't make sense. Let's play regular football here. Let's not get creative. Let's not get all. Oh, Steve, I don't get it. I don't get it. Wasted pick.
Did you hear what I said?
You'll see. You're wrong. You're wrong. You'll see. He'll get cut in 2 years.
I'll go back to your wasted time. Sing it, Sebastian.
Right.
That's a Skid Row reference for those of you.
I love the Skid Row reference, Steve. Anything anyway. Metal, I love it.
And then they doubled up again, not only at receiver, but they doubled up with tight end. They got that Joe Royer from Cincinnati with pick 170. And then they also came back with Carson Ryan. Where's he from? BYU. Okay. Tyson.
I like those picks. I like those picks a lot.
And they both have different skill sets. So Royer, I'm a little high on. I think he's a very intriguing prospect. And I think he could be a solid. I think they both are going to be solid additions, to be honest.
Yeah.
The fact that they doubled up. I mean, this one thing was clear. 8 out of the 10 picks, they went offense. So they clearly had a vision, clearly knew what they were doing. I mean, and most Browns fans knew that already. Offense. We thought that last year, and they kind of went across the grain a little bit, but they definitely focused. They also took the linebacker from Alabama, Justin Jefferson. I heard he might be more of a special teams guy and, backup guy, 5th round, but, Alabama player. I don't think they reached for anybody. That was the thing that impressed me. I know everybody's going out giving grades. I'm not a grades guy per se. Oh, A+, this and that. We don't know.
Me either.
We're not going to know for a while. On the server, I felt like they didn't reach for anything. I think they let the draft kind of come to them. I think actually I'll give Barry, I've been tough on him in the past. I'll give him major props. I thought he navigated this draft really well. I think, 6 or 7 trades he made throughout this draft? We got 2 4th round picks. And everybody's like, oh, you moved from 6 to 9. Why didn't we get 1st round? Nobody was given that. Not for this draft.
Right. No,
it was
not this draft.
For the 1st round grades, I think most people had 12 to 18 1st round grades, where most of the time it's 20-something plus. nobody was going to pay that. You got 2 4th-round picks, and that's ammunition for next year to go and do stuff. So, I thought that was good. The Royer kid, like I said, that intrigues me somewhat to see what he does. Who stole? You think we'll see a lot of him? The tight end we signed from, was it the Saints?
Yeah. We'll see him in the beginning, probably.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you know, but the kid Royer that they took, he originally, I think, was at Ohio State.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. He got lost kind of in the shuffle there at Ohio State and went over to Cincy. But he's got good size, athleticism, and I think he might also be able to play. Is he the guy that could? I think he's a solid pick. Great second tight end, I think. The other one I think is more that H-back or more blocking, I thought. The kid from BYU.
Mm-hmm. Ryan.
Yeah. So, all in all, like I said, look at what they did, and we're probably going to go over a little bit more at another time, another show, maybe really dive into some of these. I know there's so much to talk about.
There is. Hey, real quick, Steve, I forgot, and I've got to get rolling here soon because I've got to go to work today. But I forgot to play this interview post pick of Spencer Fano.
Then the Browns just made their pick of Spencer Fano. What do you think about that pick?
I think it was a good pick.
Yeah,
I think it was a good pick. Well, we need that foundation, so we've been doing in the free agency. We've been building on offensive line, so I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a good pick too. Let me ask you something else now. Okay. You're tailgating. You got a hot dog. What are you putting on your hot dog?
Ketchup and mustard and relish for sure.
All right, my man. Thank you very much,
Brandon.
What was his name? Brandon?
Yes, Brandon. Okay. Real nice guy.
He's a good dude. Actually, I think he also did Channel 19 or somebody. I think we talked to him shortly after he did. I think he was on an interview with them after. So good dude. Everybody, my great Browns. I love Browns fans.
I do too.
Good people. Obviously, this one, the ones we talked, they all knew their stuff. So that was cool to see. That was good. Anyway, all right, I'm bummed out. The land segment, we didn't do it last week. We're going to do it here, but it's pizza. It's one of my favorites, and I love to talk me pizza. So,
all right, Steve, it's yours, man. Let's do this land.
All right, so let me pop this out real quick. Okay, so this week we brought it back. We missed last week, but we did our segment, The Land, and I finally, after the third time, I guess the third time was the charm. I finally got to do Il Rione's Pizzeria. We went twice. Both times. Was I with you both times?
I was with you both times. We tried to go.
I'll never forget the first time Brownie was with us, and I was upset. We go in there. It was a little after 11, and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, we're closed." I'm like, "Huh? Like we're closed? There's still people in there. I don't know if they're meant closed or just not serving." But I'm like, "Well, your Facebook page or was it? Yeah, Facebook said you're till midnight." They're like, "Oh no, it's 11." I'm like, "We need to change your Facebook." So glad they didn't remember me, but and then I forget what happened the second. I think they were just closed that day. We went there.
It was the night after you came to my apartment downtown. You and Deb were going to go and get a pizza, and they were closed or something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. So they're over on 1303 West 65th, which is on the west side of Cleveland. It's off Detroit and 65th in that Gordon Square, not too far where you used to live, Gordon Square neighborhood. And let me pull that up before I forget. Il Rione's, or as my buddy Chris would say, 2 Riones. And Rione, I found in Italian, loosely translates to district or neighborhood. The best way to describe Il Rione's, and I think I had a picture of them here. Give me 1 second. Is best way I can describe it: rustic, chic pizzeria serving New York style pizza. And the building itself, it's in a renovated 1917 pub space. Cool atmosphere.
Oh yeah,
but the atmosphere and vibe was pretty cool. It has that neighborhood vibe hangout. It's a smaller space. I think it's about 30 or so, 30, 40 people. Maybe they could fit in there. I know parking's limited because you drive down 65th Street and it's pretty residential. You're like, did we miss this? Or why? It looks like you're going to go to somebody's house and then it pops up there on the right side. Anyway, we went there prior to the Browns. We already talked about that. So let me get to the good stuff. The one everywhere. That's the pizza.
Pizza.
Well, there it is. And I am
a margarita pizza.
No, I ordered my own. I'm kind of cheap, and I always try and get the best bang for my buck. But
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You know I love pizza. It's one of my favorite things
Well, I
in the
know you're
world.
cheap too.
Yeah, that's true too. But I've also been on a quest to find the best pizza in the area, and there are several different styles. There's New York, Chicago deep dish, Detroit deep dish. There's that St. Louis or Columbus tavern style, Sicilian. Cleveland's got a style apparently, which is thicker and doughier. But I think I may have finally found my favorite, or at least one of my top 3 favorite places for pizza. And it's here. Il Rione's. They serve starters. They have a small menu. They had, I believe for a starter, there's a meat and cheese plate. They do some salads and, of course, pizza. They have all their suggested pies you can do. I think there's about 8 or so. But the cheap part of me comes in. I'm looking. I'm like, well, those were $29. And I'm like, well, I was going to build my own. And after I price what the regular price is and then what it costs to add some toppings, I'm like, well, damn, it's going to be about $35. So I got the sausage pie, which was a red sauce, mozzarella, sausage, roasted peppers, sauteed onions, garlic, and Parmesan. And I got the large. Good. Yeah. George and Chris and his son George got the large, same pizza. I got one just for me. 8 slices, 18 inches, big boy, and it was $29. So, not too bad. For I've learned, even though I'm cheap, it's sometimes better to pay for quality.
Without question, especially good pizza like that. Brick oven pizza.
So they have 2. They have the 13-inch 6 slices or 18-inch 8 slices. Sauce was a little sweet. Toppings were fresh. They make it in a brick oven, which is slowly becoming one of my favorite pizzas. In a weird, warped, justifiable mind, it almost feels like it's a healthy version of pizza. You know what I mean?
Well, I've never thought of that, but okay.
It's thin, it's crispy. It's not as greasy as like you go to a lot of these chain places. They're heavy, they're thicker, greasy. This is not like that at all. So in my mind, it's healthy. I might as well have eaten a salad.
I mean, to be honest, it probably has like 5 ingredients in it, 4 or 5 ingredients.
Right? No, I mean, it just feels so much lighter. Like I said, the grease, all that stuff. So if you haven't been there yet, or if you're thinking about going, I highly recommend. I know if you're in the Cleveland area, they're a pretty popular place. So, but finally got to try it, loved it, and would go again. So
I definitely want to try El Rione. That has been on my list. So that's probably going to be happening for me pretty soon here.
Yeah, they have. I did have it. I thought I had it somewhere here. The hours, just so you know, they are Tuesday through Thursday, 4 to 10 p.m. and then Friday and Saturday, 4 to 11. And they're closed Sundays and Mondays. So I know with your work schedule, you'd have to probably go Saturday.
Yeah.
They're open 4 to 11. That place, there are constantly people coming in and out. Like I said, we went before the draft, so it was earlier, 5 something. But, I could see that place. I could see it being popular, especially this time of the year and summer. So anyway, that was that. Loved it. Highly recommend it. That being said, I think that's all we're going to do for today. This is our longest show yet. We're almost an hour and a half in, and there's so much we cut out. So
we did cut out a
lot. That's all right. We want to thank you guys for joining us today. Let me pull this up. Did I pull that up? There we go. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate all the comments. James, Raul, Dominic. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Again, thanks to our new sponsors, Wet Jet Pressure Washing and Poo Poo We Do. Check them out. We have their info on our Facebook page. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe. We're live on Wednesdays here on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And it will be usually, John, you're usually later that day or the next day. You get us up on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast, is it?
Yes, they'll all be up tonight. I will put them up when I get home from work tonight. I won't have time this morning.
I know when you first started doing it, you took a while, but now you've got the hang of that thing. So check out our website, www.there'sagleam.com, or you can use the barcode up in the top left corner. That'll get you right to our website. You can see our info, our bios. Most importantly, you can leave a message. Leave us a message. We love to get some comments, some voice messages, possibly play them on the next show. Got some stuff lined up next week. John, I think you're going to be doing the land next week as well.
Yes, I've got one that I've really been looking forward to.
Really? I can't wait. And we got a few ideas. We're not ready to announce yet. Got a few different ideas for the show that we might do next week. And then don't forget, next week in our new segment, Inside the Dog Pound, we're going to be featuring our first free agent, Fido. So, John, anything else?
No, just thanks for everybody for listening today. Thought the Browns had a great draft. Steve, it was good to be back in studio with you. And go Browns.
There you go. Can't complain with that. Go Browns. And remember, what do I want to remember? Remember what Coach Marty would say.
Oh, yeah.
There's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam. All right, let's go.
There you go. Have a good day, everybody. And remember, go Browns.